Hey guys, what's up? Fan here again, and today I'm bringing you guys another video commentary slash guide, and the hero that I'm going to be covering today is Mr. Jim Raynor. Now, Raynor is a ranged assassin hero, of course, and recently in this Lost Vikings patch, he was completely reworked, basically. You know, all his talents got kind of changed or removed or, you know, moved to different areas, and he's a very different hero than what he was before now. So I wanted to kind of, you know, give you guys my thoughts on this hero and give you guys a skill build if you guys weren't sure what to go on him right now. I don't think there is just like one definitive skill build yet that's just better than the rest. I don't think anyone's figured that out quite yet. But I do have a skill build that, you know, I really like to use on Raynor, and I will show you guys what that is. This is the skill build where if I had to play him in, you know, a tournament tomorrow, this is probably the skill build I would go with. And level 1, what I'm going to get is Give Me More. Usually you choose between Give Me More and Seasoned Marksman. If you run the math between those two, you're going to find that the extra healing from Give Me More is so much more, you know, just numbers wise than Seasoned Marksman. It's really not comparable. You pretty much have to get Give Me More. Raynors or Raiders recruitment was also changed. It's basically like a cheaper bribe, but I found that after trying it for a while, you know, I didn't like it. I liked the extra healing a lot more. Now, here it looks like I'm leaning against the new Lost Vikings hero. And you'll notice what I'm doing here is I'm constantly clicking these heroes. And what allows me to do that is Raynor actually has a new talent, Advanced Optics. It gives him 20% extra range, auto attack range, and 10% vision range at level 1, which in my opinion is a pretty huge deal. Because prior to this patch, right, Raynor was actually just like really weak in the early game, and that was like his main weakness in competitive play. He was just like too weak early game. People could bully him around, and he couldn't really do anything. With the addition of the inherent 20% increased attack range now, I can harass like the crap out of people level 1. Like it's just absolutely great. Even against range heroes, you can harass them because your auto attack range is longer than theirs now. So I'm really happy about that one. And we got one Viking there. I'm just gonna start clicking these Vikings while we cap this shrine. But yeah, back to my rant. You know, I think it's just really great that he has that now, because I think his early game to me feels a lot stronger, especially if you play it right. And you know, playing it right just generally means you're constantly auto attacking the enemy heroes. That's about it really. You know, the pressure he puts against other heroes in lane now is like quite tremendous. I'm laning against like Lost Viking and Zeratul, so you know the enemy lane in this game is pretty weak, but you can see how badly they're getting just absolutely crushed by me repeatedly clicking on them and then kiting back, right? So basically any melee hero is going to have a really tough time laning against Raynor nowadays, and I think he can, you know, hold his own or win against a lot of ranged heroes as well, which is really great. Now, level 4, what you're going to get for this build is Confident Aim. Lowers the cooldown of Penetrating Shot by 4 seconds if you hit a hero with it. I'm going to go for a Q-based build, which is why you're going to get this. And, you know, basically this is going to make it so that once you have your double Q, you're going to, your third Q is going to reset itself really quickly. So you basically have Q like 3 times in a row. Q. And you know, that's a lot of burst damage, like especially on a single target with Q buffs. It's really cool. So I'll be showing you guys that rest of the game, of course. Now level 7 is where a lot of people diverge on theories. You know, a lot of people just get literally every single Q build and they will go Hamstring Shot for this. I do think Hamstring Shot is really good, but personally I think that I'm going to pick Revolution Overdrive instead. I think that if you're going to pick Hamstring Shot and Bullseye, there's a little bit of a useless overlap where, you know, they're stunned for 1 second and slowed for 3 seconds. And what I don't like about that, as I get a lot of lag there, and what I don't like about that is you basically waste 1 second of your slow because they're standing there stunned, right? So there's kind of like a bit of a wasted overlap there. Also, I am a very big fan of Revolution Overdrive. It basically fixes what Raynor really lacks in my opinion, and that is a, just mobility and escapes in teamfight. Revolution Overdrive gives you 10% base movement speed when you use your W, and it gives you up to 30% movement speed. And when you think about that, like 30% movement speed, that's almost mounted speed, right? So you can imagine, like, you can already see how fast my Raynor here is like moving around, and this is just with 2 heroes being inspired. So I only have 20% bonus movement speed. When you have like 30% movement speed, it's absolutely insane. Like it's really hard to kill a Raynor who has adrenaline rush and 30% movement speed. You can kind of just duck in and out and weave in and out of battles, and it feels really good to play, especially if you have your entire team there with you and peeling for you. You just feel really good playing Raynor, or at least I do. So that's why I go for that. Level 10, I'm gonna go for Hyperion. You can actually go for either one of these. They both got buffed substantially in my opinion. Hyperion got the Yamato cannon added to it, which was really sick. I'm gonna click that guy one more time, but he has block, unfortunately. So yeah, Hyperion got Yamato cannon added to it. It occasionally fires at structures dealing 1020 damage, which is quite a bit of damage. And the second part is Raynor's Raiders got buffed as well, because you can now direct who they fire at, and you can even direct them to like move to a certain location on the ground by clicking the ground. So both skills have gotten a significant buff in my opinion. Personally, at the moment, I like Hyperion a lot more just because it provides more AoE damage, and it's really good in situations where the enemy is defending like a fort or a keep. You can get that Yamato cannon and you can get the hero damage. So I really like that. And you can see the Yamato damage is not insignificant, right? You can see how much damage it's getting out. It used to be a talent you could unlock at level 20, and they just literally gave it to him in this new patch for free. And I knew that people like in Chinese tournaments and whatnot were legitimately taking that 20 talent, which upgraded your battlecruiser so it could get Yamato and more DPS. So giving it to him at level 10 for free, in my opinion, is a big deal, and it's a really good skill now. Well, as good as Hyperion can be. Okay, Zeratul appeared behind me. I'm just gonna start kiting him there. And this guy seems to be AFK with this one, so we'll just kill that one as well. I'm gonna go back here for the Dragon Knight now. And at this point, not that much to say, but other than, so far the build is, oh gosh, that was really laggy. Getting quite a bit of lag here. But level 13, what you get is, of course, double charge, or double barreled. So what this does is it gives you 2 charges of your Q. I'm gonna knock that guy into the Nova's Q there, and get a pretty easy kill on him. And this is basically the second part of your Q build, right? So now you have 2 Qs, and you have your cooldown reduction. So if you hit both of your Qs, you basically can get 3 Qs out within, let's say, 3 seconds or 4 seconds. And that's just a lot of power in your hands. Not only is it like just straight up damage, you can see it's almost 400 damage times 3, that's 1200 damage. If you hit the same target 3 times with it, 1200 damage just from like one spell. That's really good. But not only is it like that, but it's also offers substantial amounts of kiting, right? So if they have like, I don't know, an Illidan or a Muradin who's just like sticking to you, trying to keep hitting you and get you out of the fight, you can just Q them back, and then they come back, you Q them back again, right? And then they come back and you Q them back a 3rd time. So it's amazing disengage, and combined with your 30% movement speed and your increased healing, like it makes Raynor incredibly hard to kill in team fights, and that's why I like it. Okay, so here we're just gonna kill that false dad. He got hooked. Really not much you could do about it. And yeah, so here we're gonna siege a little bit. I'm probably gonna use my Hyperion as soon as they decide to fight. Generally, whenever you pick Hyperion, you want to maximize your efficiency. So you want the hero damage it provides, and you want the building or structural damage it provides. And the best way to get both of those out of Hyperion, as I said before, is to use it in a situation where you are pushing their fort or their keep. I'm just going to use it right now. Okay, we've got one of the Lost Vikings there. And you can see the Hyperion's doing 1400 damage to buildings, and you know, it fires like 3 or 4 times. So it's very, very strong in that sense. Alright. This guy got Shadow Assault. He managed to kill one of our allies there, but died for it. And our push is still going strong here. I'm gonna use my Revolution Overdrive there, and you know, just keep an eye on how fast I move after some of these Revolution Overdrives. When you have your entire team by your side, 30% movement speed is absolutely insane. I'll Q them, Q that guy again, and use my third Q here, but I missed it, unfortunately. I'm still kind of new at this 3Q build as well, so unfortunately not as accurate as I would like. So level 16, this is where the Q build, you know, you really hit your huge power spike. Now you get Bullseye, which stuns the first enemy you hit. Oh no. But, like I was saying, so I overstayed there just a little bit. I was trying to kill this keep. We were really close, but we didn't quite get it. But like I was saying, so Bullseye, at this point, basically, you know, this skill is really good even on the old Raynor, where you could only Q like once, and then you would reset your Q if an enemy died. But you know, what this skill does is it stuns an enemy for 1 second, and that's a pretty big deal just by itself. Stun is good in this game. But what it also does is the enemy takes 50% more damage for 1 second. And 50% more damage is not a small thing. When you think about, you know, Tyranda's Hunter's Mark, that's her entire trait, and it only gives 25% damage boost. Most damage boosts in the game, such as Nova's Crippling Shot, and stuff like that, it's only 25% extra damage. So the fact that an enemy takes 50% extra damage from all targets for a second, you know, that's really quite ridiculous in my opinion. Okay, just queuing people all over the place right now. Trying to get my third Q there, but I was out of range. But yeah, so at level 16, this is where you kind of get your really huge power spike. You know, you have 3 Qs, 3-second stun on a target or multiple targets if you can hit them, and you know, it's so good. It amplifies damage, and you know, in my opinion, this new Raynor has gotten substantially stronger than the old Raynor. And I'm really liking how he feels with this build, and you guys should try it, and I'm sure you guys will like it too. So right now I'm just kind of chilling here. And looking at the damage charts, so far, you know, I have a pretty good amount of damage, 28k damage there. Alright, so something slowed me by a lot there. I'm not sure what it was. I'm gonna start clicking on this Viking boat, stun it, get it out of the way. Start clicking on the CTC, stun him, get him out of the way. Use Revolution Overdrive, and you know, right now it's just basically both teams kiting back and forth, seeing who can get more damage. I'm gonna try and Q that false stat here. He managed to get the barrel roll out, which is good on him. But we managed to kill one of their heroes in the end there. I'm still kind of just standing in the back line here. You know, when you're playing this style of Raynor, you can afford to stand in the back line. Basically, the most important thing is to be accurate with your Qs at this point in the team fight. Because if you're accurate with your Qs, you're just absolutely going to wreck whoever you hit. I'm going to throw down the Hyperion here, start sieging, and just start clicking the towers. And you can see 13 minutes into the game, Hyperion is doing, you know, like, I didn't even see that number, but it was like 1600 maybe damage to buildings, and it fires 3 or 4 times. It's just really, really useful. I'm gonna kite in here. There's a lot of Vikings running around. I'm not sure what that's all about. Shoot that guy for the mini stun. I think I interrupted his barrel roll there. so he didn't even have a barrel roll after he got out of the stun, which is great for us. I'm gonna start aiming this Viking ship down because it's doing a lot of damage to me. And run away. Alright. I'm gonna stun the ETC again. He has the damage amp on him, and he just melted to the combined might of our team there. And at this point, you know, we're 2 levels ahead. We can pretty much do more or less whatever we want. I'm gonna go back up for a heal now. So, I guess I should move on to my level 20. I don't know if this game's going to last that long, but level 20 for Raynor is now just extremely interesting, as it is for most heroes, because they added a bunch of new talents at level 20. And Raynor got a bunch as well, right? So in my opinion, if you're going this build, there's several things you can do. You can get Scorched Earth, which is, of course, you know, the upgrade to your battlecruiser. And basically, your battlecruiser blasts the ground 5 times a second in an AoE, dealing like a decent amount of damage. It says 83 at this current point in time, where my auto attacks do 233. So it's, you know, about 40% of your auto attacks damage each blast, and there's 5 blasts per second in the ground around the battlecruiser. So I think this one's pretty good, pretty like useful if there's going to be clumped up team fights. However, I think that you're probably still going to want either Bolt of the Storm or Nexus Frenzy. Because, you know, first of all, Bolt of the Storm needs no introduction, right? You're lacking an escape mechanism. With this Raynor build, you actually have a great amount of movement speed, so you could negate Bolt of the Storm, you could skip it if you wanted to. However, it's just really, really nice to have Bolt of the Storm a lot of the times, right? Maybe you're out of position once, or you weren't looking, or, you know, whatever. Maybe you want to bolt up offensively for a kill. It's just, Bolt of the Storm is a great skill that's always worth it. But, let me say more after we finish this gank here. So, I'm gonna Q that guy, he got stunned there. Q again. And I think he has imposing presence. Let me check. No, he doesn't. But either way, I wasn't doing any damage to him because this, you know, this is not an auto attack build. It's a Q build, so I really wasn't doing enough damage there. Looks like right now we're just kind of chilling. I'm gonna go top here and help my team. I think we have a pretty favorable situation if we can get behind them. Doesn't look like we can though. I'm just gonna start clicking people here. Maybe something good will happen. Still waiting here. And oh, the Lily's low. Just pick her off. Use Revolution Overdrive again. And just start blasting things in the team fight, right? So here I want to kill the false dad. Pretty much same as my stitches here. I'm gonna use my Revolution Overdrive, get that movement speed bonus. I'm gonna blink in Q. Actually missed that Q somehow, which is really unfortunate for me. And this guy this guy sacrificed his life to kill me, but I did get my Hyperion off here in the end, so it's gonna do a lot of damage to these structures, as you can see. Doing 740 per hit. Alright, so at this point this game is pretty much over. They're gonna lose this fort to the ogres, and we could probably end if we focus the, you know, the core there. But this is my build so far. I'm liking it a lot. In my opinion, you could get Nexus Frenzy, which increases your attack speed and attack range. This just makes you even harder to kill because, you know, you already have a 20% increase in attack range at level 1 from advanced optics. So a 20% increase on top of that, you know, you're basically shooting at like siege tank level range. It's just like you're shooting from so far back that no one's going to be able to hit you if you position yourself correctly. And on top of that, you have like, you know, 30% movement speed. So basically, I think you can definitely get away with Nexus Frenzy with this build if you wanted some more DPS. I'm not sure which one's better between Nexus Frenzy and Scorched Earth, honestly. I think if you want more single target damage, Nexus Frenzy obviously the better choice. If you want more AoE damage, Scorched Earth might be the better choice. Okay, so this Zerth was once again trying to solo me, but I'm having none of that. This time I will go on him. and it only took 2 Qs there to kill him. Use the 3rd Q over here, and that guy's probably dead. I'm gonna try and chase these Vikings here, and just cast my battlecruiser. At this point in time, we pretty much won the game here. Alright. So yeah, this is pretty much the build, honestly. You guys can see how fast I'm moving as Raynor once again. This is 25% movement speed increase, so it's pretty much the max amount there. But overall, this build is kind of very heavily focused towards your Q. It's focused towards making you survive as long as possible, and you know, you have 3 knockback stuns, you have a 30% increased movement speed, you have an extra heal, you have a Bolt of the Storm if you choose, or another extra 20% increase in attack range on top of your level 1 20% increase. So, you know, basically this build just makes Raynor just like incredibly hard to kill. And you know, he's very disruptive in team fights with 3 mini stuns and damage amplifications, and you know, overall it just feels really smooth in my opinion. It feels really good to play. And yeah, that's about it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel for the most up-to-date and awesome hero guides and commentaries. And other than that, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time.